什么？买了新洗衣机之后，我真心觉得，难怪美国人这么容易卡在洗衣机里面。之前的洗衣机是美国牌子，我必须要踩小椅子才能摸得到底。看了今天的杂七杂八，看到人生像发情的大猩猩一样用力嘟，我才想到一件事：我有看过大猩猩干炮的本吗？靠背，不要提 10 out of 10，大猩猩干炮的本啊！你是没有看过啊？你是没有看过那个 Overwatch 哦？哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒哒。再怎么说，现在一般人最有可能看到的就那一本吧。然后在很久以前，15、20年前，有一本人寿本是跟大猩猩做的。除此之外，好像就没看过什么大猩猩本。赤木刚宪 BL 啊！光是想到我的心也被自己的发言暴击了啊！为什么要这样互相伤害啊？救命！超怕，最怕的那一种。猴子本跟大猩猩相比，猴子的压倒性的比较多了。但是我也只是说跟大猩猩相比，实际上猴子的本也是少了一匹，没人想看。哪来的猴子？哦，今天废话不多说，直接开始啊！我们要先升到8级，然后把嘴炮点到30，才能够通过那个该死的地方，要不然整个镇子会变成敌对。虽然说未来也不见得会回去，但是总觉得不太爽。-8 画的，靠背。对，什么叫-8画的香太变成猴子被？哦，香太变成猴子的有啦，然后大猩猩里面那一只母猴子也有。你应该不是把两个混在一起吗？我记得他两个都有画过。今天一进来话题就那么刺激，没关系吗？我的头发好像已经长到后面可以绑一个小啾啾了。妈的，我现在身上没有新任务我身上没有新任务，所以我要升8级，我只能去打野怪吗？还蛮累的说，这个要打很多野怪这一区就这样，这一区就这样子一个封闭区域，应该是没有其他地方可以跑。后甲骨猿的巢穴。啊， 这一款游戏没有办法自己标地点，可恶。
Not a peep from me.
哦，一个船。啊！你看章子怡吃才60啦，天哪！刚说完星星就迫不及待的冲进巢穴，看我做了一个天杀糟糕的决定。不是人形生物一只525，然后刚刚的猩猩一只60，这是种族歧视。哦，刚刚那一只是头目，所以比较多。原来如此，不是种族歧视，是等级歧视。哦，舒服。嘿，你找到我的弹道了。感觉会有点不好应付。 Oh shit！ 啊，经验值上升了一丁点儿。这还真是糟糕。嗯？我的。就没有办法呢，就简中下去改的啊。这里扫荡巢穴的重点应该就是那一把枪的，不然这里真的没什么东西。这里就没东西，这里就是为了捡那一把枪。要求这一把好强，它的输出跟刚刚完全不一样。我爽，安全键。 里好像是生怪点呢。
Smell something. You hiding? You scared?
你不来找我，那我就进去咯。
Here they come!
Get them!
Last one! We made it!
修复过了外骨骼头盔，显然没什么保护力啊！我说我要缩单伤真的有点慢。我刚好瞄到掠夺者头目，真的找到了，525经验，来。我靠！直接分尸。
Real slick.
整个人被打碎了几百，哦吼 ，damn！目前经验值啊，需求经验值，也就是说我们要升级的话，还要23000经验。糟糕，这个不实际耶！ 说这个游戏前期升级，他妈的经验值那么难吗？糟糕，这样太不实际了。难道只剩下大杀四方这条路？怪不知道那里30等就可以用嘴炮屠戮。有野怪刷吗？就刚刚算了一下，刷野怪要升级，实在是有点太久。要用野怪升到8级不是不行，但是哇塞，很久。
You want to know what gets my bile churning? Edgewater and Is that right? I'm dying to hear this. Please, educate me. That may be the most honest thing you have said to me. Whatever you were hoping to find down here, I advise you to turn around and leave. Edgewater's dead. Space's choice will shut us. And as for me, apologies won't.
Are you fucking serious? 这下可尴尬了，这下可尴尬了，这个，好吧，这还真他妈有够尴尬的。他妈的，不是你现在给我升级是有个雕用啊！现在给我升级是有个雕用啊！威吓是受力量还有魅力影响，这又不像 Fallout 里面有那个可以直接加的物品。 精神属性+1，智力和感知对威吓没用。有人在 C 下上引用我那一张 Michael Jackson 问安妮那一张图，结果引起一阵尴尬，因为内文写说这张图是地狱梗图。啊？那一张图唯一玩的梗只有他长得很像 Michael Jackson 这点而已。可以跟我解释一下那一张图有哪来的任何地狱成分吗？因为我他不懂，身为一个 Michael Jackson 的粉丝，我没有被那一张图冒犯到，我自己都觉得很幽默了。我不知道哪里有地狱了，要不要说说看哪里地狱 ？What the fuck？ 我看一下 C 下的连结。对啊，推文就有人讲了哪里地狱了，就我觉得原 po 有点尴尬，哭了，已经到了有人不认识 Michael Jackson 的年代了吗？就是好，我发现好，那一篇文章底下的推文，智商正常的人还是占大多数，自己过度解读还在那边自嗨，好，妈的，让他尴尬。到底是在哦？不行，我觉得这一边没救了，这一边只能够屠戮了。
You want to know what gets my bile churning? Just keep your fingers to yourself, okay?
We can handle this.
Tie that
Whoops.
Are you out of your mind? You just killed him.
那个没有，刚刚最后一枪是你补的。
A favor? You just made me an accomplice to murdering my
不是，刚刚是你补刀的。
I need to leave. I need to get away from here. I need to get away from you. Don't take this the wrong way or anything, but I don't ever want to see you again.
他自己把他干掉，然后自己在那边说：“看你疯了吗？”
You want to know? Edgewater has suffered a cap.
要是把他干掉就很糟糕。如果干掉里面的警卫，感觉倒是还好。是这样。 好的，我们出来了。
I'm going.
那虽然应该是刚刚那个应该已经是能够杀最少的人了，我觉得已经我们尽力了。声望太空人之选，了解相当优秀的员工，但也有犯错的时候。
You and I have got nothing more to say to each other.
What are we supposed to do now?
Exercise patience.
异乡异客，好，我现在回到飞船上去就好了。Yes， 来专长。啊，加负重啦，哪次不加负重？感谢斗内，然后先把威吓点上去好了。
That is the greatest Bloody Mary. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, you did it. Wow. Holy.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Is this your ship?
Oh.
Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh.
这个机械宅冷静。
Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. Edgewater won't last another season without power, but that don't change the fact that I'm indentured to Spacer's Choice. Company expects me back at my post. I've worked on the occasional supply coach in need of repairs. Once I built a little model craft out of spare parts, but Mr. Thompson found out and I had to take it apart. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves from my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think? Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, ma'am. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
瞧他乐的。 你来啦。
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Captain, I have detected that the town of Edgewater is now without power. I appreciate you doing your part to hasten their demise.
你可以不要讲话那么酸吗？
What can I do for you, Captain? Do you know?
I got a jar of dirt.
Emulator? Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
所以我说，重要的是船上有没有仓库。我记得我的房间里面好像有置物柜，有了吧？拜托告诉我有了吧！救命！
As always, I am at your disposal. Anything you'd like to discuss? Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition. That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them. My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it.
Ooh.
They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me. The simple version is this. The force which we call the Grand Architect created the universal equation that underlies and defines everything in the universe. Everything flows from the equation, or in layman's terms, the grand plan. Is the Grand Architect a consciousness? A natural force? Did it create the equation on purpose? The answers to these questions don't really matter. The equation, the plan, is all that matters. Contentment is found by accepting one's role in the plan. The plan is not one rigid path. There are a variety of multitudes contained within it. Our parents.
不要再给我来那一套上帝的形式高深莫测的狗屁了。
Some choices make the path smoother, some rougher. You can even go outside the lines, but
还有一些会布满蛇龙哦。
It's like an unbreakable elastic band. It will only stretch so far before it snaps back. The further it is stretched, the more violent the eventual correction. I have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last
今天网络一直转吗？
were my only hope of getting it translated. I honestly don't know what I'd do. This quest has consumed me for the better part of my life. I fear there's nothing else left to me. What about you? What's your story? And how did he do that? Well, you do seem different than every other colonist. Let's pretend for the moment.
你看起来和其他殖民者没什么区别。请问你要不要去检查一下眼睛？
That seems a dangerous proposition. Why risk your life now that it's been returned to you? Fair enough. Bakonu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the Philosophist School of Thought, so the book is banned in this colony.
一本教人自由思想的书，然后在这片殖民地上是禁书，非常合理。
Philosophism's a false religion that stands in contradiction to almost everything we know to be true. They believe all is chaos, in stark contrast to OSI's belief in the plan. But most of the philosophist perversion of Bakonu's thoughts came more than a century after his death.
在这个殖民地上，哪儿去找会法语的人？
I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him.
说真的，整个殖民地懂法语的就他一个。
The only one I'm aware of. I suppose we could always just ask random passers-by if they are fluent in it. A thousand pardons, my good captain. I thought we were engaging in witty repartee.
靠北。
As far as tracking down this scholar, we should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures. I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the Philosophist's off-world destination. Thank you, Captain.
Ah, 所以现在的问题是仓库在哪？仓库在哪？我目前遇到的所有容器都只能拿出来，不能放进去。房间是不是要我把那一个能源插进去之后才能开？应该是。啊，好麻烦。
Where are we headed?
Let's get down to business. Oh. Oh. 这台东西该不会是在我们插那个之前就可以用了？你他算了。
What can I do for you, Captain? All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
妈的，玩了好几天，这里才完成
From Dr. Phineas Wells.
啊！
Aha, there you are, hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain, horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
我之前就是玩到星光湾，然后就没有再玩了。
Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly. Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her.
刚刚第二句好，就是那个黑市商人，他指的应该是 that。他这一句话的应该是要说跟我谈谈那个黑市商人。
Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make it to the nearest star. Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of this colony. We're all skating precariously around the edge of oblivion together. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it a better place, and we can start by reviving the Hope. Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time.
Oh.
I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters. Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits. First-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
所以这个东西可以把人变成兽吗
？Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram. A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise? The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
啊？全息影像是他妈的怎么让人口气清新的？
Science, that's how. Ha 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 ha! The beauty is they don't expect it. The shroud is the only one of its kind. We humans have a tendency to overlook the unexpected.
好了，不要再呛我
In
了。
the skies, walk past someone. What do they see? A figure dressed like a fellow employee. Don't act odd. They won't focus on you.
如果这个技巧全宇宙只有他一个人有的话，那其实是说得通，因为你根本不会想到有人会这样子搞。就算看得有点异常，你可能也只会觉得是自己眼花而已。
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board is interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
哦 ，Thank fucking goodness！ 终于仓库。好朋友的好朋友。啊？哦，缩小射线枪。 哈。
The groundbreaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
Can we talk? Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson. I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff. Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else? Mostly, yeah. I lived in the maintenance office near all my life. Mr. Thompson never let me forget how funny that was. Not on the regular. Once in a great long while, a Saltuna boat would break down on the pad. He'd always bring me along for those. Me, kept Bess, I mean the cannery, running. Turned loaders, plumbing and electricity, some plastering. I never got the hang of that. Except for my schooling years, I was always beside him. Or tied to him. He used to carry me about in a sling when I was real little.
What the fuck?
When I got older, he set me to sorting tools and parts while he worked. Later, he taught me simple fixes like busted crate latches.
Horny Dragon, I got something to say to you.
Kiryu 说：“好色龙，我有事情要跟你讲。” What the? 哦，
大哥，
哦，干我的眼睛！妈的，我看的傻小。
I'm not exactly a model employee. Not like you wanted. The kind that stays quiet and gets the right work done in the right order every day. It's not normal for anyone to do as their parents. You take a vocational test. That decides your schooling and your career. When I tested out for maintenance, everyone figured it was on account of my dad. They were real unhappy with us. Because they were hoping their own kid would get the job and get sent back to Edgewater. When folk go away for schooling, they don't get back to where they begun. Not usually. You go straight to your first job,
壁咚的
wherever
精
the
髓。
company's got an opening. I reckon you could say, no thanks, I don't want a job. But then you don't got a job. Well, they're powerful good tests. They rattled off this whole list of names who'd worked on them, with fancy bits hanging off them. Doctors and esquires and the thirds. Even if you don't believe they actually catch what everybody's best at, everybody's got to take them. so at least it's fair-ish. Well, I'm good at making things work the way they ought. Not so much at doing such to...
请问你可以把中国修好吗？
There's times I'm working deep and it all running perfect. Then I look up to see it's tomorrow and I've blown another deadline. Anyhow, I was happy to get back home. I didn't care much for school.
Final attack.
最终攻击什么？我怕。哦哦，原来如此。不过说真的哦，这个很像我当年喝酒喝到谵妄的时候会梦到的东西。
Yep, nothing much had changed. Everything was a little grayer, a little dirtier. Dad met me at the shuttle and gave me a big ol' hug. I noticed straight away that he was moving slower and stiffer. He made a little grunt when I squeezed. About a year. I tried to do more of the work so he could rest. His heart gave him pains. Dad never said that he loved me, you know? I knew on account of him showing it. How he'd stay up late to help
小飞象喝醉。
Listen to my fretting. Oh gosh. Look at the time. Sorry to bend your ear so long. And I got so much to do before this ship's in decent shape.
是说战场的副歌曲有漫画连载之后图会变多吗？
I find myself marveling at the complex simplicity of the Fibonacci spiral. I'm sure you know what that's like. Something vexing you, Captain? Yes, well, now that we're here, can we check in with security? I'd like to track down that scholar. If I can access the data cartridge from the terminal in security, I can easily hack into their arrivals and departures registry. That'll give us dates, times, and the crew manifests for every registered ship.
我刚刚应该是两个都选了啊，还是没有？
6 months of departure manifests to track the Philosophist's off-world destination. Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems. Thank you, Captain.
我刚刚把修船工点掉了，可不。真三国无双8 Empires 秘密战队。哦，底下的小光点，好吧，我得说这个 UI 不太明显。靠北。
Yeah, huh?
Smells like grease and unwashed bodies. just as I remembered.
啊！当时我在这里花了超久的时间。安保终端我记得没那么好进去，它是受管制区域。
Just checking your ship's manifest. Standard procedure. Welcome to Groundbreaker, by the by.
By the by.
Don't mind the heat. Got a few days before it reaches critical. I'm sure Miss Chief Tennyson will get it sorted before then.
Customs 海关储存了
That's not the point. This half would just
Ah,
knock
Sydney.
out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick, I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses. He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get cute with me again, you little back bay brat, I will toss you out an airlock.
This is the Groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time for this. I need a drink.
Going for a stroll around the docking base? Sure was. Got a knack for upsetting the board and the Mardettes all at once. Between you and me, I was hoping they'd come to fisticuffs. I had this foreman, right? Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting.
你们是他妈英国足球迷哦！
That's when I broadsided him with a tossball stick. Yeah. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation. Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it? So your ship's got a dark and violent history? This is just too perfect. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time.
我还不知道叫什么呢，我是列宁子，哎呦！
Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance. See you around, boss.
救命！
If it wasn't for us, this whole damn station would shut down.
If it wasn't for us, this whole damn station would shut down. Mechanical's all over, but they still got us, sweating to move boxes.
哎，对，它就是受管制区。不要在意我，我只是喜欢爬楼梯。 Oh hell yeah！ 哇哇喂！ What the hell?这两个人在干嘛啦？好，我还没有管制区的 ID， 所以我进去是没有伪装的，太危险了。
You learn to keep your eyes to yourself in my job. Nobody wants you looking close at their cargo.
Wow, 真是精彩。
I wonder what that fella did to get the board so riled at him.
Customs and inspection, right this way.
Oh yeah.
Identification, please. Everybody's got an ID. Oh, let me guess. You, left it in your other pants? I hear that one a lot.
51?
I'd tell you no one's fallen for that line in about 30 years. Then, I'd take the safety off my gun and kindly ask you to move along.
Angie!
It's a good thing she didn't say that then, right? Right, sir?
Angie!
Sure, kid. Right.
安吉在啃他房间里面的隔板，在那边啃，而且眼睛完全闭着，开都没开。然后我就敲那个亚克力墙，然后就一脸转头过来，好像做坏事被抓到，然后眼睛还是要开不开的。干一个很笨，救命！
Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the war. Probably.
真的，他的表情跟我早上起床的时候一模一样。
You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here.
哦，乌东啊，我之前有听过他的是大名。
Along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important. You take the starch out of them, well, you won't hear anything.
你就尽管搞他吧，我才不想要搞他。
If you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor? Wanda Dorset over in sickbay. Tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it. Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with? The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself.
The Lost Hope.
She'll set you right.
我觉得 Lost Hope 翻成希望还蛮赞的。
You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker's not the most hospitable port in the colony. Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. 2 biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though.
不过韩吉会这样子啃，代表可能要多给他一些能够磨牙的东西了。他应该是感觉到自己磨牙磨不够，想要啃。
Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind me.
都是坏人啦，不是普通人啦。
Tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in engineering.
No kidding. I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
Happy to help. That's my job, after all.
You're real good at it, too.
Well, thank you, miss. It's nice to be recognized. Yep.
Can we move this along? I have a certain, matter I'd like to attend to, Captain.
Are you pulling my leg? Goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what we now call the Board. Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Doubt I'll ever see the inside of it myself. Yep, Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and wildcat miners. Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing bays. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year. Groundbreaker was one of the original colony vessels to come over on the crossing, a few years before her sister ship, the Hope. Once everybody'd been de-thawed and dropped dirt side, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather liked the spacefaring life. I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Now, here we are. Glad to help. They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them. Relative to the board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the means to go where they will. They aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too close at your work history either. All right. He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison. They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top and manifest processing fees of every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like. And that terrifies them. You mean the heat? Sure, we could make them fix it. But what would they do in retaliation? They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
再次插入星战迷音。
Provide order to the colony. They believe it's their prerogative to overrun you. But whether you allow that is up to you.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we may do all right. So far, anyway.
他们不会那么做的，对吧？
Sure thing.
他们不会那么做的，对吧？还刚好他妈一男一女。
Be seeing you.
啊，牧师有话想跟我讲。
By verity, by strength. What are we contemplating today?
Unless you're here to file an incident report or to inquire about the bounty posting, I must kindly ask you to clear out. The Mardet's offices aren't for leisure time nor loitering. Last tip we got pointed toward the back bays. You want the reward? Do the legwork.
也是啦，星战迷因其实蛮多的。
You and about 6 other enterprising mavericks. It's only where someone brings me McRed's head. Or his lucky lighter, as proof of kill. I do hope you're the lucky hunter, though. Good luck and skip speed to you.
不要开，不要飙车。
The outlaw scientist fella, right. The board's had it out for him for ages. If you have an inkling of the wheres or what fors of his location, Udon Bedford would surely like to hear it. To the board, yeah. You've read his wanted poster. Whole list of things to get their unders in a wad. But he's never done nothing to Groundbreaker, so I've no problem with him. We keep the poster up to keep the peace is all. Do I look like your gossipy best friend? While I'm on post, I take my duties real serious. I would have no qualms whatsoever escorting you to a cell.
我他妈
Understand?
这里简中翻得很鸡掰耶。
Then get to business or get moving. We're the security force here on Groundbreaker. Started back before the crossing, you know. The original force was made up of a Marine detachment from the 77th Marine Expeditionary Unit, Trailing Fleet.
哦，合理。
Folks started calling us Mardettes because it was easier to say. Guess it stuck. Still waiting to hear back on that bounty for McRed. That aside, not much else.
啊，我记得这个家伙，要到蛮后面的一个地方去打他，然后他有一帮同伙不是很好对付。
Hi there, haven't seen you around before. What can Groundbreaker Security do for you today?
哇，你的 jawline 还真是。
Chief Tennyson don't generally hire outsiders for station jobs, but you could try asking at Sublight Salvage. They got an office on the far end of the promenade deck. Anything else I can help you with, ma'am? Chief Junlei Tennyson. She runs the ship. Does a real great job of it, too. Her family's worked on it for, gosh, since it was built, I think. Back before the crossing.
What's she like? Is she a good boss?
Good as she can be, I guess. What with all the troubles Groundbreaker's facing. She could stand to lighten up, I suppose. But she tries her best to do right by folks, and that's what matters. Sure is, but she makes it look easy. She's real competent, our chief, even if she ain't real friendly. They're run by Miss Hagen. Half the tramp captains and contractors in the system have worked for her. I ought to warn you straight off. Scuttlebutt says some of the jobs they do aren't exactly above board. Downright anti-business, if you catch my meaning.
这个要一句一句看，除了是怕漏掉情报之外，还有就是怕漏掉一些任务。像刚刚讲一讲，就有任务跳出来。
Let's say there's been times when I heard somebody needed a thing, and somebody else had such a thing, but they wouldn't sell. Now let's say the one who had the thing suddenly found theirs missing, and the one who needed got one. If anyone asks, Sublight says it got salvaged from an old wreck. Case closed. If anybody could prove them criminals, the board would have put their foot down a long time past. They always got, what do they call it? Deniability? Something gets nicked or someone turns up dead, Sublight says, hey, independent contractor, not our responsibility. But everyone knows what they're doing, top to bottom. Against is a strong word. Let's say that if you need something the board ain't able to sell, you might look to Sublight to get it. You might pay Sublight a shitload of bits for it, but that money gets passed on to their contractors, so
business.
In the end, it's still business.
You must admit, there is a beauty to the order of it. Everything operates within the constraints of
牧师，你讲这个话真的对吗？
even organized crime.
People do what they gotta to get by. Oh, sure, sorry. Gets a mite boring at this desk, you know. Then I get to chatting too much, and Commandant Sonia's gotta reprimand me again, and... Oops, doing it again. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry. Captain's real understanding.
Can't speak for the captain, but I'm used to listening to folks drone on about their pointless, depressing lives.
Awful generous of you, listening to me like this. This is the security desk, ma'am. If you're here to report a crime, you'll want to talk to Commandant Sonita. I'm not authorized to take incident reports anymore. Less than there used to be. Fewer freighters passing through these days. I spend some shifts just listening to the wireless.
然后突然有个可怕的家伙入侵了你们的无线电，开始放东方。
Search me? I mean, don't search me, because that's my job. Get it? I reckon you'd have to ask the folks in Byzantium.
我觉得最靠背的是，他居然还干扰了他们的示波器，他妈的弄 Troll Face 还有 Among Us， 你他妈是恶魔吗
I'm not so good at filing. Mix up first name and surname 1, 2, 7 times. Well, folks are liable to start taking your filing privileges away.
他说有人听不懂的话，前一阵子俄国发生了有人入侵俄国的军方军用频道，然后在里面放东方音乐，还做了我刚刚讲的事情。
We can't just let anyone walk in here. I wouldn't be, well, it's not, we just don't. Maybe if you clear an open bounty and get in good with Commandant Sonita, or help Chief Tennyson fix this heat, that might warrant a thank you tour or something.
45哦
All right.
虽然说贿赂也行了。
Sure, and stuff from outside the system too, off the interstellar freighters. That's why we also have so many armed Mardettes on duty here. That'd be awful weird. On account of you should be locked up back here too then. All right.
帕尔瓦蒂可以解释一下吗？我记得我上次玩的时候好像也发生过一样的鸟事。我说你们啊，
This is it. Security. I can check the departures registry to find out which crew the Scholar shipped in and out with.
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
Here we go again. No one lives on Monarch. It's a wasteland. You were hearing things.
No, seriously. There was a lot of static at first, but then this voice said his name was Graham?
Graham, right. Broadcasting on a dead world full of monsters. Now I've heard everything.
You know, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
Who told you that? Graham?
Asshole.
Oh!我看一下哦，这里2位，那里1位，电脑所在的终端所在的地方是在。
Apologies, Captain, but I can't.
Okay.
Sure.
Hmm. 终端的所在地有点尴尬。
Look at.
Nicely done. There it is. Just yank the drive.
Now 不知道麦克雷德中了什么东西，让他家伙嗨成那样。
Now that we have the data cartridge, I can finally find out where that scholar I'm looking for ended up.
不是，你们进来干嘛？你们也伪装了。这一段比想象中的轻松很多。我记得我之前玩的时候，在这里蘑菇超久，不知道在干三小。
Got it. His name is Reginald Cheney, and he joined a sublight salvage crew. Only he's not listed on the return manifest. Must have made landfall somewhere he wasn't supposed to. Ah, yes. Here. There's a domicile on Monarch in Fallbrook, rented to the same bit card he used to buy his seat on the salvage ship. I should have guessed. What better place to lay low if you wish to avoid the authorities? Oh, it's nothing. I suppose I really didn't have much faith in actually finding him. Was a bit of a long shot, wasn't it? I admit it.
至少，其实对于这一段一直有点担心的。轻松过了，不错不错不错。君王星，现在这里没我们的事了。
Try not to be distracted by the glare of the
Wow.
Lots of unsavory types about.
Flavored center. Suck it. Chew it. You can do it. Rizzo's Purpleberry Punch. You want a punch? We've got your punch right here.
都忘了这个地方，唉，这地方就是我的天敌啊，痛苦。
Sorry about the heat. Chief Tennyson will get the radiators fixed soon. Of course, this heat sure makes a zero-G brew extra refreshing. It's an ale that's good for what ails you. Oh, and it's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice. Taste the freedom.
有够厌世的口吻。
A lot of slogans to keep track of. Sometimes I forget.
这个家伙真的令人印象非常强烈。
Heard of it? My orientation aether wave showed that famous Saltuna cannery, which I'm sure smells as good as it looks.
That's true.
Yeah. I hope they're gonna be okay.
That's a Spacer's Choice beer. Take what you have, polish it up, and make the best of it. So, what can I get you? Some soap? Everyone loves soap. Everyone will love you for using it, too. I'm bound to satisfy headgear-related inquiries. Please send any complaints to our Consumer Care Headwear Division. Oh, I'm having a stellar day. And not just because I'm legally obligated to say so. Almost as stellar as Spacer's Choice is affordable.
我突然想到一件事，就是这个东西是会发光的，所以除非里面有2层构造，不然他妈的他应该会得白内障吧。
I could see all of the top quality merchandise in the Spacer's Choice catalog, which is available here at a reasonable price. Spacer's Choice regrets that we don't sell toothpaste at this time, but we're always working on delivering exciting new products to our customers. Sprat Wash, Mouthwash, and Mantafloss are among the exciting line of dental goods currently in development. Don't miss out on these deals. You'll find none like them on all of Groundbreaker, or anywhere in the Halcyon colony. Trouble sleeping? Try our Lunar Eclipse mix. That's 2 handfuls of pep pills washed down with a hearty swig of 2-hour energy brew. The blast will send you through the stratosphere, and the crash will knock you out cold, guaranteed. Add an additional 10% to your purchase today, and the proceeds will be donated.
这个家伙开口闭口都已经是社畜的形状了，就可怜呢。
At Spacer's Choice, we care about your health and emotional well-being. That's why we put
这个家伙的内心应该跟他的头套一样，完全死透了。
Even if my contract didn't forbid it, I think it's part of me now.
救命
Now, are you ready to make Spacer's Choice Lunar Green Moonmouth lozenges a part of you? The future.
NPC 中的 NPC， 不过我觉得更惨，他比较接近那一种知道自己是 NPC 的 NPC， 哭啊！
Damn it. No slogan for that one. Look, this hat, my job. It may not seem like much to a brave space captain, but they're all that I have. If there are self-made purgatories, then we all have to live in them. Mine can be no worse than someone else's.
这句台词也太好了，天哪！
Now, if we're done with the chit-chat, I hope you don't mind if I make the most of this short life and try to be the best moon person I can be.
汉堡酷啦！ 我不能够下地狱，我的假期已经用完了。
It's fine. I should be stronger than this. Thanks for taking an interest. Speaking of interest, can I interest you in some quality budget goods? At Spacer's Choice, we cut corners so you don't have to.
是说把他的对话全部听完，应该要有个成就才对。
Have a look.
他有卖哪些武器？哦。服饰配件，哇，决心加5。不是说左岸那一边，因为河蟹的关系，然后文字狱，然后连杀这个字都不能出现，然后说在某些地方杀会被代换成方块乱码，然后看起来就像口，于是就会出现很多爆笑的东西。我不知道有多少人看过那一篇，比如说德州电锯杀人狂变成德州电锯口人狂。
Are you listening to me, Emperor?
底下出了一大串，在那边举例把沙变成口，整个听起来就很胎哥。对，人被口就会死，像这种东西。
You can't keep me out of there.
Please don't make a scene, Dr. Fenhill.
I am not making a scene.
What seems to be the problem? Not without dispensation from Chief Junlei, I fear. Supplies are hard to come by out here. We don't have the ability to manufacture our own medical supplies here on Groundbreaker. Regrettably, we are dependent on the board for such mundane items as bandages and antibiotics, as well as more critical resources like adequately trained staff. We'd nearly signed a supply agreement with Anti-Cleos, but they demanded we only use their branded drugs, and that's simply not tenable. Take care.
I'm sorry. Am I causing a scene?
哇，我记得你。
See, Emperor? We could have avoided all this unpleasantness if you just let me talk to Jessie in the first place. Let me get one thing straight. Jessie and I are not friends. I just owe her, okay? As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here too long, and she's apparently not receiving visitors.
我靠！神挡口神，佛挡口佛，你这真的对吗？
You say that like it's weird. It is most certainly not. And watch where you go saying that, okay? You're gonna give people the wrong idea. I just don't like to leave a debt unpaid, that's all. Be my guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy, I'll be impressed.
GNP pancake mix. Now requires no mixing. Seriously, don't mix it.
哎，对吼，不是还有那一个天生万物以养人，人无一物以暴天啊！口，我靠！我靠！我靠！妈的，这一篇怎么洋葱那么重啊？
You seem down.
Board patrol nicked a friend of mine. Accused her of piracy.
Shit. She actually do it?
No.
追口比尔，我靠
！Hold up ship and was pulling a legal salvage.
整部片子的剧情他妈的完全变得不正常起来。
What the hell are they gonna do with it?
They already done it.
Oh my god!
They were sent to the labyrinth on Tartarus. Disruption of intra-colony commerce.
Oh, sick. That's a prison for hard cases. Violent repeaters. Nobody gets out.
I know, man. Don't I know?
Wish they'd let us off station. Air up here's just recycled spacer farts.
哇，这里感觉热死了。
Those XF411s? And an old Yakita 37? You think they'd let me peek at the power plant?
Would like to remind spacers and other travelers that passage to
Thought there'd be more machinery. Must be housed on a sublevel.
canyons of
I could spend all day in here and not have looked at half the best stuff. It's all pretty worn, though.
Anarchists live as one with the animals, lawless, savage, and unemployed. The board's embargo ensures that nothing can leave the planet and threaten our hardworking citizens. You've been listening to Halcyon News, your mandated duty as a good citizen of Halcyon.
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the formal introduction. Groundbreaker doesn't see many visitors. No, it isn't. It's a mess. But it's my mess, so I'll take the compliment. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. I hope there won't be any problems while you're visiting. Ain't that always the way? So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's just passing through. Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. Maybe someone in the promenade can get you the right weapon for the job. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going. Most of them board spies and corporate sprats. Makes it hard to trust outsiders. You seem different, so welcome aboard. Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated air into my ship. My engineers have managed to keep the heat to livable levels, but all the fixes are temporary. This wound is bound to fester. Only the board has access to new parts.
这让我想到一个专门口哥不灵的人。
They want us to sweat, thinking that'll soften me up for a bad faith deal. If you'll excuse me, they can go fuck themselves. The board isn't helping and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back online, Groundbreaker, everyone aboard, will be cooked alive.
今天的网络有问题是其他台也都这个样子吗？还是说只有这里会转？
Reasonable, huh? That's the best news I've heard all day. According to my grandmother's old schematics, the parts we need should be in the back bay.
Oh.
Sorry, I forgot not everyone knows this ship like I do. The back bays are on a lower deck, long abandoned and
太好了，两个任务一起解。
now. I have. One of my engineers, plus a small security detail. They didn't come back. I can't afford to lose.
如果要我猜的话，他们可能都被扣了。
No offense, but a freelancer like you is more dispensable. Mardits are descended from the original Marine detachment that crossed the void with Groundbreaker. I don't put their lives on the line if I can avoid it. You must not have been here long. In Halcyon, new parts come by way of interstellar freighters from Earth, and the board monopolizes that kind of trade. That means I'd have to negotiate with the board. I've already given them the shops, the docking fees, and a damn embassy. Damn right. And while I'm captain of the Groundbreaker, it falls to me to preserve this ship's independence. Those idiots are immune to reason, and they don't much care if the station melts to pieces. They're content to die last. If you could find some way to solve this without violence, I'd prefer that. But more than anything, we need those parts. Good. Once you've obtained the parts, we can proceed to the next phase of repairs.
OK， 牧师的防具需要好好的升级一下。不行不行不行不行！
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Do you have what it takes to defend your corporate township from the dangers of alien wildlife and the unemployed? Talk to your local manager about applying for military training and lend your life to protecting our wonderful brands and products. Military service does not guarantee full employment rights.
并不保证。
Discount health benefits, military burial, participation medal, training, or weapon.
喂喂。
This is Halcyon News, reminding you that there's no I in news, no we in Halcyon, and no Mercury in Saltuna.
哦，想到以前小丑女成人动画想放蝙蝠侠口猫女的笑话。 结果被 DC 否决，因为那不是英雄会做的事。Fuck off！
This whole deck smells like ass. Only gonna get worse if I don't get those radiators fixed.
What? I didn't think you just...
Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name. What can I do for you?
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with actual, real spaceships, Miss Junlei. Chief Junlei.
Junlei is fine.
Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if, well, maybe you could teach me some things. I could message you later, maybe?
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati. You can ask me anything.
Wow, great! I'll do that then. Messages. Later. Oh, your name's pretty too. I
回
should
头
say.
发嘞，发啦！
I like it. Honest.
说这个简转繁的作者不知道为什么把所有的发都弄成了法，也是。
Couldn't have done it without your moral support, Captain.
Now, if there's nothing else, there are other parts of the ship begging for my attention. Frustrating. Everything down to the circuit boards is past warranty, so I have the pleasure of making life or death decisions on a shoestring budget. Plus, there's no time to train my successor or document fixes in a way that anyone outside the family.
刚刚有一个发是正常的吗？
You see any bite-sized Tennyson children running around? I didn't think so.
你有看到任何姓田的小萝卜头到处跑吗？老实说，我好像刚刚才看见一只。
It's only a question of when. Sure is. The Tennysons came over on the
等一下，他妈的，你们真的是太空水电工哎！
gang kept it together during the crossing and until she died. I was promoted only recently, when my mom died. Then I took the leap from chief engineer to captain.
They must have been amazing people to have taught you all you know, I mean, which is a lot.
妈的，叫 Tennyson 的他妈的都是水电工的料子吗？
It was different knowing that I couldn't turn to anyone who could answer the tough questions for me. Maybe you can see why I'm protective of Groundbreaker. This ship is family. It's got tinkerings and bypasses that only Tennysons know about.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm really just a dab hand with a wrench. Nothing special. Not like a chief engineer.
Don't sell yourself short. It doesn't take a seasoned pro to tinker on Groundbreaker. Just someone who knows how a ship ought to feel. We're always thirsting for help. If you could find your way around this labyrinth of ducts and panels, we could work something out. I hope that was a joke, Captain. I really do. I gelded that thing years ago. Now it brews a stim that goes down stronger than Nanny's bank. Family recipe.
原本真的有自毁装置吗？ What the fuck?
You've got my attention. You're right, I don't. The board is after two things, bits and power, and they only get it by sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. I placate them when I have something to offer, but I can also be a real hard-ass. It'd be a joy if I could kick out the corporate merchants and reclaim the docking fees in my lifetime. Too much of Groundbreaker's income is flowing in the wrong direction. I'd like to see that change. You've got my attention.
You mind if I ask you a question? Like, a personal one? Is it true what you said? About being on the Hope? I don't rightly know. I haven't figured if you're the sort who'd make up stories. Not yet, anyhow. Well, welcome to Halcyon. I'm Parvati Holcomb. Parvati Holcomb, which you already knew. Okay, I'm bad at this. It's hard, huh? Not knowing anybody, not being sure what's expected or how people.
讲完之后自己把自己尬死。
But you got me now. I'm sure I can help you out. We can do this. Yay us.
Yay!
Well, I didn't expect her to be so tall. And did you see the size of her arms? What? No. Maybe? I don't... It's like someone reached into my head and pulled out what I didn't know I wanted. You know how hard it is to find anybody who likes working with tools in a little town like Edgewater? I just met her. How could I be? Alls I know is, I want to talk with her more. Did you see how everybody on Groundbreaker listens to Junlei? She's just, here's how to fix it. And they trust her. It's just... She's calm and knows what to do. I wish I was half so confident.
本来讲说他只是因为基于听说对方是一个高强的工程师，敬仰对方。实际见面之后，哇靠！
Yes, you caught me ruminating again. Guilty as charged. What's occupying your thoughts?
This 是病房69 ，nice。先去找他一下好了，说不定讲一讲，很多任务可以顺便一起解。能够问的先问。
CNP Borstwurst. It's not the worst unless it's Borstwurst.
Oh, neat! They got stuff in here I ain't seen in ages.
Now, this should prove interesting, to say the least.
Miss Lilia takes good care of us, see? The authorities stay off our trails.
Hey, Mr. Vicar. Do you ever get a little bit homesick for Edgewater? That ocean stink.
No, I do not.
You're supposed to say yes and go on to explain why. I just want to have a conversation.
Of course you do.
三小12拜托。
Welcome to Sublight Salvage and Shipping, a legitimate business for legitimate consumers. You the one flying the unreliable? Money. We got it. The Steve Doors want it. I'll take that as a yes. Miss Lily has been expecting you. I'll unlock the door. Sure am. A few years back, they got me started on simple acquisitions. You know those latches they put on cargo bays ain't worth a damn? These days, I stick to HQ and look after Miss Lilia.
So you're the new captain in town. I was hoping you'd make your way to my office. Saves me the work of hunting you down. Lilia Hagen, CEO and Executive Director of Aggressive Operations. I'm guessing you already know about Sublight, otherwise you wouldn't have come. Not a word. Pity. My guy in marketing is about to lose his other thumb. It's nice to see the Unreliable again. Useful ship. Hawthorne was my contractor. I'd recognize that leaky boat of his anywhere.
他不是我杀的。
I didn't ask. I have a salvage job for someone light on corporate ties with a reliable set of wings. But there's a catch.
Just like in the serials.
If you have a nav key to Stellar Bay, the job's yours. Interested? First, an embargo that's been active ever since the board pulled its forces off-world. Few regulations, plenty of freedom. And second, all the goodies that no one had time to pack. I like that initiative, but ease back on the throttle. Gladys at the Rest and Go might have what you need. If there's anything else, be quick about it. Time is bits. These days, the scrap business all but runs itself. Gives me the time to expand our interests into other sectors, where I can let my hair down. Our field is persuasive acquisitions. At least that's how my legal advisors tell me to phrase it. Not all of our salvage is abandoned when we find it. Sometimes it takes a polite conversation and a shot across the bow. You know, legal formalities. Good girl. Knew you'd understand. Very. I have this thing about numbers in spreadsheets. Grids in general. I like to think of myself as the last honest businesswoman in Halcyon, but I'll settle for being the most organized one. Hey, careful with the C word around here. I like to keep things above board, and that kind of talk only makes trouble. Sublight occupies a legal blind spot. No one knows what we're licensed to do, and that gives our little business some freedom. But let's not tempt fate. Ask. I have nothing to hide. Be seeing you. Make sure you aren't followed on your way out.
Talk to Miss Lilia if you're looking for work. That's a good question. Yes? Yes, that sounds right. I'll make sure to include that in the new employee salvage tutorial.
啊，只有我的台会转吗？
Who wants to play an impromptu tossball match? No one?
可是我这里的网络传输显示一切正常，而且会转的话，再怎么说也不会是我这里上传的问题，一定是Twitch那边了。奇怪。啊，说我现在重开一次看看。